I've always felt confused with the word confidence. Like, what are we exactly talking about here? Are we talking about not feeling nervous when we go on stage to talk to 50 people? Or are we talking about not feeling insecure about our bodies? Or are we talking about not feeling like we are imposters when we are trying to do something new? You see, this big, not so pretty word in my book has a lot of different meanings based on a lot of different areas of our lives and contexts that are being used around it. But the way I see it, if not being confident was an illness, which it is definitely not, but if it was, I would call all of the things that I talked about earlier as symptoms of this illness. The confidence that I'm talking about today is a very internal thing, and it has nothing to do with outside world. And I really believe that you don't have to be confident in everything. What I mean is, if I am someone who can get her job done really well and earns crores of rupees, it's okay if I don't feel confident in my driving. Although I do feel that you should at least learn it, but I don't have to be confident about it because, well, I am confident and valuable in other areas of life. So it's okay if I don't have everything. No one is perfect. But you should purposefully select these areas that you are willing to let go. Now, everything that I'm going to share today are things that have made me a confident person. Now, I don't even think that confidence is the right word here. I think of this feeling as something that's quite positive as opposed to something negative. Something like I am and I can do rather than, oh, I'm not and I can't do, if I'm making any sense. Keeping my promises. That one person who says they'll do something and they'll show up, but they never do that and they never show up. Yeah, I didn't want to be that person to myself. So since last year or so, I've tried my best to always keep my promises. If I say I will read, I will read. If I say I will work out, I will work out. If I say I will finish something, I will finish something. What this has done is it has allowed to trust myself and trust what I tell myself. That whole fake it till you make it, it doesn't work for me. And I think it's because when I tell myself that I'm smart, but I have no proof of my smartness, I'm likely not to believe it. Of course, you always treat yourself with humanity and kindness, and you allow yourself the best environments to succeed, and then throw yourself out there into something and whatever you want to do. But it is important to let yourself prove that you can do certain things so that you can believe you can do certain things. Allowing myself to experiment. Now, this applies to almost everything, but particularly in things where there is creativity is involved. Let's say, for example, that if I am shadowing someone in, let's say, coding, and if I'm following everything that they say, I'm using the exact same approaches, I'm likely to think that I only was able to do certain things in this project because I was shadowing someone. It is because of their smartness and because I was relying on them that I succeeded. But if I allow myself to experiment and do things differently, I will learn to trust myself a lot more. I will learn that it wasn't just pure luck, it wasn't a coincidence, it wasn't because I was shadowing someone smarter. At least a little part of it is because I was good at it. Observing other people. Now, I don't mean that you try and nitpick on everything that other people do. What I'm talking about is you observing people if and when they make mistake and how they deal with it. There was this one thing that I thought I wasn't good at. I thought I can never be good at it because it's something biological. No matter what I do, I will never be able to be good at it. There was this one person that I knew was a lot better at it. So I observed that person, and what I found was, well, that person made a lot of mistakes too. But it wasn't about the mistakes. They were very quick to move on from this mistake and instead focus on how they can resolve it. So that's something I've picked up from that person, and I have implemented that in myself in that particular thing, and I'm much better now. Saying yes a lot. If you are someone who thinks you're not very confident, I think you'll be someone who doesn't say yes a lot. I mean, you don't say yes to new experiences, new people, new activities, new opportunities. And what this does is this makes you start to feel secure and safe in your own shell. So you kind of think that you were safe because you didn't do these new activities. I mean, you'd be scared of a lot of things, which is not a good thing. I want you to be less scared of new things. I mean, of course, they're going to make you feel nervous, but it shouldn't be that you just stop yourself from doing those things because you're so scared. Saying yes to a lot of things for a short period of time when I was working on my confidence a lot made me feel and realize that the world is not so scary after all. If I do extremely well at this new thing that I just tried, well and good. If I perform average, well, it's not so bad. I still tried and I know what I need to work on and what is it that I lack. Doing a lot of things kind of makes you realize what are the things, your innate things that you're good at, and what are the things you generally perform poorly at. And in case you performed very bad, that's not the end of the world. And that gives you the sense of cushioning. Like, even if you were to fail at this thing that you're so nervous about, that's not the end of the world. You're still fine. Alright, that was what I think was the base to everything else. I've done much more since then, but I'll save that for another video. Please like this video if you think it was useful. I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.